loud.
It's super. But if you turn it down, if you turn down your so you can turn this up.
Yeah, if you turn your headset.
If you turn your headset down on your.
Yeah.
I turned it down, but I was able to hear it. Testing. Fucking goddamn it.
It's whatever. I don't give a fuck.
How come I'm not grounding it?
I don't know. Are you wearing shoes?
I am, but so are you.
No, but my shoes are better than yours. It's because they're black.
Blacker the better, the sweeter the juice, they say.
Once you go black.
What is that song? Is that a song? That's a song, right?
I have no idea. That is weird. When I touch it, it stops.
I don't know.
Makes almost
You're not gonna
no
fucking
sense. Why not?
Just duct tape your hand like those people holding the bomb detonators where they have the dead man switch, or what? Is it a dead man switch? Is that what they call it?
Yeah. So if you let go, it goes boom. You're like
Homeboy from Terminator 2.
I don't think I can.
So was that the worst role in that movie? Like that guy, he's such a pussy, right? Can I say that?
That the Miles Dyson was a pussy in Terminator 2?
Yeah, can I say that?
Yeah.
I mean, he gets shot and he's like a little bitch about it. Not to say that I wouldn't.
He got fucked up. He didn't get shot one time. He got
No, not then. Before. Doesn't he get shot before that, though? Isn't his arm in a sling when they go there?
Well, yeah, because Sarah shoots him.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
And she fucking dumps that M16 into his fucking house. Fucking suppressed laser sight. Fucking just fucking killing everything.
I mean, is it just that's a really good performance by that guy? The way he just
I'm trying to picture that part when he gets shot at the house.
I just remember him being like it just.
This is that run, Daddy, run!
Like he crumpled.
I mean, so I don't know because I've never been shot.
Right, neither have I, and I'm sure I wouldn't.
It's like movies, right? What you expect to actually happen and what's real.
I'm just used to people taking a hit and dealing with it.
So yeah, and I think from I don't want to call it research, but from what I've heard
from your research,
from my research, from other accounts that I've heard and listened to of what happens when people get shot. Especially with smaller caliber rounds, even though they're rifle rounds. A 5.56 round is pretty small. In comparison, I mean, it's 55 grain, which is pretty lightweight. I mean, it's less than the weight of probably a quarter. Probably about the same weight.
Okay.
And it's literally, I don't know what the measurement is, but it's
I thought you did research on this.
Well, it's okay. So it's a 22 caliber round, is what it is.
That's what she shoots. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, a 5.56 round of the M16 round is the same diameter bullet as a 22 caliber, 22 caliber round. So it's really fucking dinky. I mean, it's super small. So the amount of foot pounds that you're going to experience from that, because it's on a small point, yeah, it seems like a lot.
It's going to go in, it's going to stay.
Usually what happens with that small of a round is it goes in and it dumps all its energy and it fucking just tumbles and it stays in the round.
I mean,
now in the movie, he says
it went through.
That it went through. Says through and through, it didn't do any skeletal damage.
I mean, if you think about
he says,
there's not much room for it to go through in an arm.
So he didn't get hit in the arm. He got hit up in the shoulder.
Okay.
Because
I remember his arm in a sling.
Yeah, he had his arm in a sling. So if you go through the shoulder, I don't know the full anatomy on all the bones and shit.
These movies are bullshit, is what you're trying to say.
Absolutely they are. But okay, so as long as you get hit up in the upper shoulder, because your lungs go up into your chest cavity.
Right, yeah.
So your lungs, people that get shot up here, you're fucked if you get shot up here in the chest.
Well, you get
unless it misses.
Pneumonia, right?
Not pneumonia. I mean, it's called a sucking chest wound.
Well, I mean, because pneumonia is water in the lungs, so essentially it's blood going into your lungs.
Yeah, but the pneumonia is caused by an infection. So lungs are generating the fluid that go into your lungs when you have pneumonia.
Right.
But when your lungs get punctured, it wants to collapse.
Yes. Okay. Right.
The other thing
That's
that
always
happens
the thing
is
too,
because you're trying
lung.
to breathe, because your diaphragm is pulling down on this cavity of your body in order to inflate your lungs, because you open your mouth and your nose, and the air tries to go in. So when your diaphragm pulls, it creates a vacuum in there, and it wants to fill your lungs with air. But if one of your fucking lungs has a hole in it, it's going to suck from wherever there's room to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be blood there, and you can suck blood into your lungs. And then, if you have the right life-saving equipment, you basically drown in your own blood.
Right.
Or
what is
it can
spot in your shoulder area?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
there's a bone right here.
There's room there. You have your scapula.
You're good. Right? Just let it go.
It doesn't come through on the recording.
No, it doesn't. It's fine. Okay. Yes.
Shut up.
No one knows what we're talking about.
It's a stupid headphone preamp, and it makes noise in our headphones.
It's boom.
It's like a humming noise, yeah. And it's like an electrical hum. And if you let go, or if I let go of it, no matter where it is, if I'm not touching it, it makes the noise. But if I touch it, it stops.
Maybe it's because you've got a soul and I don't.
I mean, you're Native American.
That has nothing to do with
you guys don't believe in God.
Well, I don't know about other Native Americans, but this one in particular.
Kidding. That was a racist thing to say.
I mean, they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
I mean, the ones that were beat down by
the old ones were like the coyote
fixed on them.
Oh yeah, no, they're pussies too.
You can say that. Anyway, so yeah, if I touch it, it's grounded and it doesn't make noise.
Before we go too much further, I'm Matt Bonta.
And I'm Cory Easley.
And this is Sequel Podcast.
And we're here to talk shit about shit.
And other shit. I mean, so Terminator 2.
We're here to talk about shit and stuff.
Like, Terminator 2 is a good topic to talk about.
I mean, we could lead in on that. I love Terminator 2. That was my all-time favorite action movie from when I was a kid. Like, I remember the first time I watched it, I was at a babysitter's house.
I mean, we should do a commentary on Terminator.
I think so. I mean, we've done Predator.
We've done one.
We've done Predator.
We've threatened to do multiple other ones, including Alien.
We have
Dune,
to do that, but we were trying to get
Snow
my dad.
White.
He's flaky as fuck.
We'll talk about him. He's a topic to talk about today for sure.
Of distress.
Stressing me the fuck out, your dad. So real quick,
I'm his fucking kid, and he doesn't call me like regularly.
Well, it's not that that's stressing me out. It's his responses to me, and when I'm trying to get something going, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in quarantine, so I can't do anything."
See, he didn't even tell me that he was like got the Rona or anything, so I don't know.
Like, I've heard this multiple times from him.
Yeah.
Where he's
because they've been sick like several times, and they don't know what they have because they're not like that sick.
Well, he says he gets tested like twice a week or something like that.
I mean, he works for the prison system.
The CDC.
The CDC.
No, he says he gets tested like all the time.
So he would know.
I mean, unless he's just ghosting me. I've been getting ghosted recently by everybody, and it sucks. Trying to get this movie made. Filmed one episode.
Which one?
The Savage Shorts. Short Savages.
The Savages. Well, I saw you did some filming with Greg.
Yeah. So episode 1's done.
Episode 1. Phantom Menace.
Savage Menace.
We should codename all of our episodes after other things that are named after an episode number.
I mean, that would be amazing. I've got no problem with that.
That'd be fun.
Like A New Savage, Return of the Savage. What's the Attack of the Savage?
Attack of the Savages.
No, drop the S. There's only one.
Only one Savage. Unless we do like a clone thing.
The Savage Strikes Back. Return of the Savage. What's the next one? The Savage Awakens.
Savage Awakens.
It
sounds like Sacagaway. Savage Awakens. And then there was The Last Savage.
The Last Savage, and then Rise of the Savage.
That would be hilarious.
But that is too close to the third one, which is also Rise of the Savage. Two separate Rise of the Savage.
No, Rise of the Savage and Rise of the Savage.
Or no, it's Revenge. Revenge of the Savage.
Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the
Whoa,
Sith.
Whoa. Don't say that word.
Sorry.
I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, right, because YouTube's listening. So, Terminator 2.
No. Before we go on to Terminator 2, let me talk about my bullet thing and what I know the movies tell me. They tell me that a bullet can go through you and you're better off if that happens. They also tell me that certain bullets, if it goes in, the exit wound is like huge.
It can be.
And I don't understand how that happens.
I can explain it to you.
And also, and one more thing is like, from what I understand, what I was told by a history teacher over at Hug, like if you get hit by a bullet, like you're gonna go like flying or like spinning around, like the force is gonna move you, right?
Only if somebody's using the force on you. So, so you had like multiple points. The first point is you're better off the bullet goes through you. That is true.
Because
it doesn't matter where it hits you. Even if it fucking smashes into a bone, which sucks dick, because then you have that fragmented bone in your body.
Well, on that same subject, I've also heard that it'll, if it hits a bone, it's gonna like go bouncing, like if you throw like a bouncy ball into a chamber or something.
So shooting, getting
it's gonna ricochet off your bone.
Yeah, shooting, getting shot, all that stuff. It's all physics. Okay.
Sure.
And it's all really simple physics. Okay. So you have an explosion in the cartridge that sends the bullet flying down the barrel. Okay. That explosion forces the bullet out of the barrel of the gun.
Here's another point. You're going to talk more about this, so let me get in when I can. As a kid, I always thought the whole bullet was the thing that's going in. As an adult, I know it's just the tip. Right. Hey-o.
Hey-o. Yeah. So the whole the round is the whole piece.
So the shell,
so what you would call a shell,
shoots out of the gun. No, and lands on the ground.
The bullet is a projectile. That's the part that flies into people.
And the shell flies out of the gun.
The shell or the casing
out of the side of the gun
comes out of the ejection port
and lands on the ground.
Usually
for cops.
That's the tink 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 noise.
With the
tink 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 tink. And I think it's funny when you get that tink noise. That do you think the brass?
Dude, here's a cool. Okay, check this out. Picture this out. You're firing. The shells are hitting the ground. Right, they're making that noise.
Right.
Transition into a different scene where it's the news on the wire. Ting, 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 ting.
Oh, that would be fun. That's a fun shot.
We'll never use it.
No, but we could.
We could.
It would be fun. There's a lot of fun like shot ideas.
Okay, so the casing comes
out of the ejection port of the gun, provided it's a semi-automatic, right? Which in the case of the M16 that we're talking about, yes, true. Flies out, lands on the ground.
Lands where it lands.
Lands where it lands. So bullets
radio silence.
I knew that I was almost waiting for it. So bullets work on conservation of motion, right?
Yep. There's an explosion.
So when you pull the trigger,
and the hammer,
we'll start all the way at the beginning. The trigger is releasing a hammer that is spring-loaded.
Right.
To drop on the firing pin.
The firing pin?
The firing pin strikes a primer. Okay, the primer is like a cap gun. It's just a cap. Small explosive. It hits the cap.
Shoots
that ignites the powder, creating the pressure surge that you need to force the bullet out of the gun. The bullet travels down the barrel of the gun. Depending on the system, it's either gas blowback, which some smaller caliber pistols work on, and then there's the rifles and stuff that work on either direct impingement, which is the way the bolt travels to the rear of the gun. We're talking about semi-automatics.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you have all this going on all at once. The bullet travels down. It's a lot of shit going on. So the bullet travels down.
We talked about a lot of gun stuff.
Sure.
On our Predator commentary.
We did, because it's so good. I've watched other commentary videos and Navy SEAL reacts to action movies. I like those videos because I think it's fun to get the perspective of somebody who's literally seen combat or similar combat.
Seen people get
where you're in you're in firefights or you're trying to take a hill like in Vietnam movies and Saving Private Ryan, when they're trying to take the beach, like guys that have been to war have seen like literal firefights like this.
Well, I have
talking about shit like that. That's one of my favorite things to watch as far as my own entertainment goes.
So in my movie, Street Meets Pavement,
right?
There's some live fire stuff with a guy that was a Marine, and when I guess when they were there filming it, I wasn't on set that day. There's a shot where there's a terrorist standing there, and they shot it two ways. One was like where he kind of takes the hit and his head kind of snaps back, and then he just like falls to the ground.
Right.
And then there's a second take, which is the one that's in the movie, where he takes a hit and kind of just like flies back.
Right.
And the guy was like, well, the one where he just kind of takes a hit and falls to the ground is more realistic.
Right.
But we went with, it's a movie.
And that's why movies are made that way, because when you're fighting somebody, punching somebody in the face, right? Like, how many punches to the face do you think a real person can take?
One or two. Like
a regular person, right? Like, you watch MMA fighting, these guys are beating the shit out of each other, and they don't look good after that. Like, they're fucked up. Their faces are all swollen, their eyes are fucking bleeding, they're missing teeth or whatever, and these guys are wearing mouth guards and gloves.
Yeah.
You see a couple of guys fist fighting, like, somebody's getting fucked up. But in a movie,
I've seen so many videos where, like, some dude's mouthing off at another dude, and it's one.
Yeah.
One and done.
Yeah, he fucking clocks him in the mouth, and he goes out.
Like, is he dead?
You watch him just seize up and go, ooh.
Like, it's...
Because normal people don't train to get fucking hit in the head like that.
And also, a lot of those fight videos, too, is probably, like, the ones that go longer are punches that are probably sliding off.
Yeah, they're not good connections.
Yes.
So... we want to go back to bullets?
Yeah, let's go. Okay. I mean, we're talking.
Yeah.
We're talking.
So
it's a podcast.
So the bullet and the explosion of the powder inside the cartridge, right? This is all happening in the chamber.
The largest handheld projectile?
I mean, it depends on how you define projectile.
A single bullet.
Okay.
So obviously not like a cannon or a missile.
Okay, so cannons, I mean...
So like a .357 Magnum. The world's largest,
the world's most powerful
handgun. Right? Is that true?
Was the 44 Magnum.
Is that .357 is smaller?
Yes.
I mean, obviously the numbers.
So the numbers are most times referring to the diameter of the cartridge.
The length. Oh, this around.
Yeah, cross section.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, one of the smallest. Projectiles that I'm aware of that's commercially available is 17 HMR.
Like a Derringer?
So the Derringer is a small gun.
Right.
But they make Derringers that shoot 22,
regular size
9mm, 45 auto.
Your average size
shotgun shells. Like, it doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That thing the size of the gun and the design of the gun makes it a Derringer.
Okay. Yes. Right. And probably the brand.
Pistol.
Right.
So your Derringer style pistol is what you would picture as like a little break action. It takes 1 or 2 rounds in it. You close it up. It's got no trigger guard. It's, hammer fired, so you pull the hammer back and then you shoot it. Like, it's a very small, short barrel. I mean, less than an inch long barrel.
Something easy to hide.
Yeah, it's what you would call in self-defense is like a gut gun. Mm-hmm. Like, you literally have somebody on top of you or in your face, and you're going to put this against their body and pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's the purpose of a Derringer. Mm-hmm. It was like, Old West stuff, like at the card table or whatever.
Prostitutes have it.
Yeah, prostitutes, because it's that close combat thing. They can hide it. It's very small. They can get it out, and they're directly in contact with whoever they need to protect themselves from.
Now, here's another thing with my sidebars. One thing that stands out in my mind is the first James Bond movie where he carries a Beretta, I believe. In Dr. No, he carries a Beretta, and the first Q, not the one we're all aware of.
Right.
Because Beretta, I think he had a throwaway comment about it being like an American used
it's a garbage gun.
And it has no stopping power. So he gives them the Walther PPK, which has more stopping power than the Beretta has.
Right. So not familiar with what caliber or what model of Beretta that would have been. I don't know if you want to look it up.
I mean, you watch the movie and my basic knowledge of what I think a Beretta looks like, it basically looks like a PPK, doesn't it?
So Beretta is a manufacturer.
Sure.
So Beretta makes all different kinds of guns.
Well, let's assume that the average Beretta, it's a handgun.
Yeah. So if you tell me he has a Beretta, I'm thinking 9mm. A full-size 9mm Beretta.
I want to say it looks close. I mean, I'm looking at these guns. They look like big guns.
An FS92, or is it FS92? I don't know.
James
but it's very, very common
Beretta.
In police work, like cop gun. Okay, so that is a little tiny gun, and that's smaller than a PPK, which is what
he
cartridge
gets.
is 6.35 by 15, 25 ACP.
Read what that says, though. It's called
so the Beretta M418 is an easily concealed Italian.
Now, this is what came up first, searching James Bond Beretta.
Sure.
So this may or may not actually be what it is. It
might not be the gun, but it looks like something that
probably
is what they were thinking or they were using. So 25 ACP is itty bitty fucking round. It is a little tiny cocksucker. Like, it's only barely bigger than a 22.
So I think the idea is that if you were to shoot a guy, he'd still be able to come after him.
Shooting the Beretta 418, James Bond's first gun. So there's reviews and shit on it, Wikipedia, there's all kinds of stuff. So this is an itty bitty gun. Like, this is very small. This is like a semi-automatic version of a Derringer. Like, this is tiny.
You don't think that, not necessarily you specifically, but like if someone took a bullet?
If somebody took a bullet
from anything.
Okay.
They wouldn't be down for the count?
Regular people. It depends. It depends on the situation.
I mean,
for everybody.
Miles Dyson.
Okay, so if you get shot, right?
Yes.
Especially with a small caliber pistol round, right? And even if it goes through and through, it doesn't go through, it doesn't break anything, it just like literally tears meat, right? Depends on your mindset. Depends on your situation. What are you doing? Are you protecting your family at the same time?
Do you think there's enough adrenaline someone can get? Really?
Absolutely. And it's been proven.
It's been proven.
I mean, we've
all seen the Incredible Hulk.
In like I said, in a lot of the military
training
stuff that I listen to, where these guys are talking about being in combat and having been in firefights and having friends that have gotten shot or been shot themselves. It's not just because these dudes are fucking badass. It's because of part of it is
situational.
But it's I think for a normal person, for normies, I heard that term the other day, normies. I thought that was funny.
Oh, that's the first time you ever heard that?
No, I've heard it before, but I just got brought back up.
Gotcha.
But for even, like, let's say Miles Dyson, right? Regular guy, he's a scientist. He's not,
family man.
He's a family man. He goes to the office, he comes home. He was
not adrenaline enough to save his family if they were actually really, like, invaders. Which they were. She was there to kill him.
She absolutely was.
She was going to kill all of them.
And they're lucky that, I don't think she was going to kill all of them. I think that she was just there to kill Miles Dyson, and that was it.
Okay.
Otherwise, because she wouldn't shoot through the kid, and Miles had to push the kid away.
Okay.
And then and he's like, just leave my family alone, right? So I don't remember his exact reaction when he got shot, right?
There are distinctly
people, like he's like
shot convulsing.
Well, yeah, he's probably freaking out. It would probably be more realistic that once he had slowed down, he would pass out or have like blackout, because your adrenaline can carry you through a lot of shit, right? So if you're in an adrenaline situation and somebody busts in here and they start fucking shooting the place up and you get shot, if you don't get shot critically, so critical shots are in the melon. Yeah, you get shot in the head.
The heart.
You get shot in a critical organ like the heart or the lung, because you get hit in the lung. I mean, you're gonna have a real difficult hard time breathing right now. Like, that doesn't come on. Like, you get a fucking hole in your lung, you're fucked.
Right.
And you have a hard time breathing.
Like, if you smash the hose,
oh yeah, exactly.
The water's not going to be coming out.
Right. You get hit in a large cross section of bone, right? So like, if you get hit in the scapula, that's gonna hurt like a motherfucker. If you shatter this, that supports a lot of shit in your body, right? and especially upper body musculature, you have a hard time going anywhere.
Maybe
but it's not going to keep you from running. Yeah, I mean, anything that's going to keep you from, it's like a fight. If you can keep somebody from seeing or breathing, they're fucked, right?
Yeah.
So if you get hit somewhere where it prevents you from moving, like if you get hit in the thigh with a bullet, dude, I can't get a fucking cramp and walk around. Let alone get fucking shot in the leg, right? If you get shot through one of your large bones in your legs, you're fucked. You might be able to limp around or crawl off because it's not gonna like immediately kill you.
Yeah.
Right? So like heart shots, lung shots, bad news. Okay? Gut shots, bad news, but not for mobility. Right? So if you're running away and you get shot in the gut, you're gonna keep fucking running. It might hurt like a motherfucker, but it's not gonna throw you on the ground. You get shot in the pelvis, now you're really fucked. That's why they teach in self-defense shooting, doesn't matter who you are, they teach center of mass, and that's because the most things that are the most important are right down the middle. You shoot, the fucking brain is in the middle, the heart is close enough to the middle, you know, the solar plexus, ribs, lungs, hips.
This is intense talk.
All the way down to the waist. You think about it. If you shoot anybody in the middle, all the way down through the waistline, you have a good chance of stopping them, especially if you hit them more than once.
Oh, absolutely. Okay.
So.
But you were saying that someone's not going to fly back.
They're not, because if you think about the amount of energy, I don't know if you have, you know, something for reference, like a quarter, or you know, we can look up the weight comparison of a bullet, right? Like how much a bullet weighs.
But force times mass equals. I'm just pulling this out of my ass, dude.
You're not far off.
I know.
So mass times acceleration is the amount of force that you're feeling.
Okay.
And that's
force is mass times acceleration.
Right. I then might look that up because I'm not 100% sure.
We're close.
So it's something like that, right? So you have a thing that weighs an amount. Doesn't matter how much it weighs. It weighs a lot, it weighs a little bit. If you accelerate that thing a little bit or a lot, that's going to tell you how much energy, which is usually measured in joules, on whatever it's going to hit, right? So you can take a quarter and you flick it across the room with a window. No, maybe I could break the window. But if you build a fucking rubber band gun or some kind of like track gun that's going to accelerate that fucking quarter hauling ass, I break the window.
Do you remember? I don't know if you're going to remember this. I've got a good memory. Chemistry.
Okay. McCusker?
No. Geyer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bye, Rosemary.
Hi, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time.
Don't you fucking do that.
I'm not going to kiss her on the
mouth. You were going.
She thought I was her son.
Yeah, okay. Weirdo. Whatever. No, Geyer, we were talking about sledgehammers.
Okay.
And he was saying, I don't remember the exact conversation, but all you need to do is just lift it up and drop it, and it's enough to do that. And that the guys that were kind of trying to like slam it down like a baseball bat or something aren't really getting that much more. And in fact, they're putting more energy into something that will do it on its own.
Right.
Am I right?
Absolutely. And it depends on the amount of resistance you're going to get from the thing that you're trying to hit with whatever it is you're hitting it with, right? So the acceleration of gravity times the mass of the sledgehammer, which is usually, 10 pounds.
10, 15 pound
10, 15 pound sledgehammer is pretty common, especially if you're doing demolition stuff. It doesn't make sense because if you have 9.8 meters per second squared of acceleration already, remember that?
My eyes,
like that?
No, I don't.
I watched.
My eyes are glossing over.
I still watch physics videos and shit for fun.
No.
So this object is already falling on its own. You put the energy into it to get it up in the air. The distance it falls over, with the weight and the speed
spike
on whatever it is, it's going to fall and it's going to do the amount of work that object can do. So for the amount of work you have to put into pulling it down, how much more acceleration can you possibly get? Now, you would have to fucking measure it. I don't know, right? I don't know what that actually comes out to, how much more. But what Mr. Geyer was saying was the amount of energy you're getting versus the amount of energy you get by letting it fall, there's a negligible difference, right? So that's just gravity falling. But now we're talking about, taking, a muscle amount of energy, like whatever you can muster just with your
right.
overhand throw, versus putting a mechanical advantage on something. So I can take literally a 9mm bullet and throw it at the window and it'll bounce off. It's not I'm serious. It's not. It's not that powerful by itself. It's a stone. It's a pebble.
Right.
The shape of it probably has more to do with whether or not it would break it and how it hits, as to how hard I can throw it.
Right.
Now I could throw it as hard as possible and maybe get more damage, but the metals that bullets are made out of are very soft. You're talking about copper and lead.
Yes.
Okay. Some military rifle rounds, have steel core, but you're not getting to that steel core until you peel the copper and lead off of it. That steel core comes after you've met enough resistance to reduce the lead and the copper now. So
is lead the heaviest metal?
It's the most dense metal, other than I think gold and plutonium and
really?
Yeah,
gold.
Uranium. Yeah, gold is up there.
Okay.
That's why they're a good analog. So if you paint lead gold colored and you don't know the difference, like if it's a polished piece of lead and it's gold colored, the untrained eye wouldn't know. You just looked at it, you wouldn't, or you picked it up and you weren't examining it or scratching it or anything like that. You can scratch both metals quite easily in their pure form, right? But it's density, and then it's also malleability, and that comes in later when you start talking about the effect of bullets on tissue, right? So all the things that are happening require some energy. Okay, the bullet flies down the barrel, but some of that explosion also needs to cycle the weapon. So you have a bolt carrier that needs to be forced backwards in order to pick up another round. Usually there's a buffer.
It's intense.
Spring
I mean,
system.
thinking about that.
There's so much going on. It's a very intense mechanical operation that happens every time you pull the trigger. You go to a bolt gun or you go to a wheel gun like a revolver, you reduce the amount of mechanical operations and the amount
because the barrel or the chamber or the wheel cycles itself. The
cylinder is mechanically advanced when you pull the trigger. So you pull the trigger, it mechanically advances the cylinder.
Without needing...
It doesn't need any of the explosion from the round.
Pull back the barrel.
Right. So all that happens mechanically with pulling the trigger. It's all... Now that mechanical operation is fucking really cool. Whole different thing. I know jack shit about it. I know that it's complex and it's fucking cool. There's very important timing and shit because the cylinder has to rotate around, land on a bullet, and then the hammer has to fall down on the bullet after it's in battery and then go down the barrel.
It's amazing.
It's fucking crazy. So some of that energy from the explosion from the round is driving the bolt carrier backwards, and it's compressing the spring normally.
Yes.
And then now that energy of the spring has absorbed that rearward motion, and now it's going forward to strip off another round out of the magazine.
Kinetic energy.
But at the same time, it's going backwards against the spring. It's carrying the empty shell or the empty casing from the last round. That gets kicked out to the side. So depending on how hard that comes back and the ejection method of the bolt carrier in rifles and pistols, it gets flung out the side. A little spring-loaded thing that just spits it out.
Yep.
Okay? Looks cool. It's everybody's favorite part. Usually the mechanics of how the gun either operates or how the shells fall out of it are people's, non-gun people's favorite part of guns. My son's 9 years old. I have ARs, I have AKs, I have pump action shotguns, I have break action shotguns, I have pistols, I have 22s.
You're a gun nut.
I'm a gun nut, but I have all these cool things. You know what his favorite gun is? He has two favorites.
The pistol?
Nope.
Oh.
Pistols are cool.
Right.
They look cool. But the operation of it's whatever.
Uh-huh. So, what then?
Top pick, break action shotgun.
Sure.
Single shot, lever action.
Did we shoot shotguns?
I don't know that we...
I think we did.
I don't know that we did that.
I want to say that we did.
I thought I would have brought it. I know we did my rifles for sure. Yeah, we did. I did bring the shotguns because we were fucking the plywood. We were fucking that shit. It looked like cardboard. You fucking nail a piece of 3/4 inch plywood with a fucking bird shot. It just fucking annihilates it. Peels that shit out. So yeah, break action shotgun, his number one favorite. And the pump action shotgun, number 2 favorite.
So just shotguns.
Because they fucking look cool, man. You open up a break action shotgun, the barrel falls down, shoots the shell out the back. Fucking cool.
Oh, do you have one of those?
Yeah.
Have I seen it?
It's little. I don't usually get it out because it's a pain in the dick to shoot for most adults because it's short. It's a youth model. It was my first gun that I got when I was a kid.
Your training wheels gun?
Yeah, it's your training wheels gun. It's fucking 20 gauge. It's so light though, it fucking kicks your ass. So that's where a lot of different stuff comes into play. How much does the gun weigh? Does the gun weigh a lot? Is the round very big?
Oh well, the heavier the gun, the less
the lighter the recoil, the lighter the felt recoil, because the energy is being expelled out the front of the gun instead of shooting the gun backwards into you.
That's why those guns, like the one that we have in Street Toughs and from Punisher, he's got the thing on the end.
Compensators
To add more weight to it,
on
right?
1911. So the compensator
lessen the recoil.
It lessens the recoil of the gun by forcing the, I call it exhaust gas, the spent powder, right? It creates this explosion flying down the barrel, pushes the bullet out the barrel. Some of that goes out the top of the compensator. That's why it's vented. So it's vented towards the rear and up. So what that does is like a jetpack. It just pushes the front of the gun back down. So the mechanical recoil is because the slide is cycling.
Sure.
So the blast of that round going off inside the chamber is forcing the slide back to strip off another round and eject the old casing. So the weight of that slide is causing some of that action of it coming back, hitting the end, and going back forward. That's part of the recoil. The other part of the recoil is the fact that there was a fucking explosion in there.
Right.
And that's creating a force towards the rear.
Right.
Because it's enough to affect the weight of a handgun. Right? That's what? Less than 5 pounds? So a 45, like a Punisher, is kind of a large pistol caliber. So 45 is bigger than 38 357. 38 357 Magnum, the diameter of the round is very small. Similar to 9mm. Similar to the Walther PPK, which is fucking remember is a 380. Typically, right? So that's .380. It's a 30 caliber round, just like the 38 special
PPK
357 Magnum. The diameter of the bullet is so close that you can shoot 38 and 357. So if you have a 357 Magnum, you shoot 38 rounds, no problem.
Okay.
Now, because of head spacing and chamber pressures, you don't want to put a 357 in a 38 because there's more powder. The casing of 357 is larger and there's more powder, and it's a hotter load, right? Hot load. Yes, he did.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about bullets and shit already. We're already like almost 40 minutes in on guns.
I'm almost there.
Okay.
I'm almost there. I'm seriously almost done. Like this could go. This would be a 2-hour fucking podcast and a goddamn TED talk on how guns work. Right?
All right.
So we've gotten the bullet out of the gun. We know why there's recoil. We know how the bullet cycles, or the bull carrier cycles, why everything happens.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So all those things that happened already, including the bullet flying down the barrel just to the tip of the barrel, have taken some of the energy it needs off. Rifle round, you're looking at what? Probably like a small rifle round, around 2,000 feet per second.
You tell me.
Roughly. Okay.
I believe
and
you.
You can have anybody fucking argue in the comments if you want to.
I believe you.
But that's pretty close.
I would love people to argue in the comments.
I would love to get a comment. So different loads, different calibers, different feet per second, different amount of velocity that you're going to get from a bullet, right? But typical 5.56, 2.23, you're going to get 2,000-ish, right? And that changes the distance. So the further away you are, that's going to reduce because you're spending that energy getting to that place.
Right.
So within 100 yards, okay, 50 yards. I would call the distance she was shooting at the house definitely less than 50 yards. Right at or less than 50 yards, okay? At 50 yards, we don't need to do the math. You have a fucking high velocity rifle round, and at 50 yards, you're pretty much still at the top of your velocity for that bullet, okay? It hits you. You're still talking about a fucking bullet that's this big around. I mean, it's tiny.
Yes.
It is a little itty bitty fucker. It's moving real fast, and it's not that big. So now when it hits you,
keep going.
The reason why, now this is where the entry and exit wounds come together, right? The other point that you had on how guns work in the movies or whatever, like the way you're told. Okay, it goes in little, comes out big.
Yes.
The reason for that is due to hydraulic effect on the bullet. Okay, so when the bullet goes in, it meets tissue, blood, fluid, right? Anything that's soft, I mean, fuck, you can shoot a pumpkin, you can shoot anything. It's going to create that effect. So it's harder or softer than the bullet, doesn't matter, because it's on a point at the tip of the bullet for hollow points, right? There's a hole in the tip of the bullet.
Okay.
So you've seen hollow point rounds. Okay. So it looks like somebody drilled out the front end of a bullet. So instead of being a dome,
it's got a hole.
It's got a hole in it.
Right.
Right. And depending on the size of the round, so a 223 hollow point, it literally looks like a little itty bitty 1/8 inch drill bit just in the tip of the bullet. But when it gets down there and it meets resistance, it pulls the lead or pulls the jacketing back and peels the lead back, and it opens up, and it makes a fucking mess. It literally opens up and gets bigger. So when they say it goes in and comes out twice as big, it's not. It's probably understated, because and on top of the expansion of the round, I mean, even round nose ammunition will expand when it hits something. It'll expand out, like the rounds that they pull out of the Terminator when they're in the shop and they're like digging out the.
Those are those
are round nose, okay, and that's round nose jacketed slugs, and those are going into flesh over the metal interskeleton, right? But it's still going into flesh, and then it's going to hit a steel or a metallic object inside. So it's still going to expand, and even in a bulletproof vest, if you hit a bulletproof vest against something soft like ballistic gelatin or something like that, it'll expand. It's not going to come apart. It's not going to open up. You can see, they call it mushrooming on hollow points, because it literally folds back, and you get this mushroom effect where it's opened up, and you get this extra meat on the outside of the bullet just tearing through shit. Okay, so that's object number one that's going to create a bigger hole on the way out. If it hits nothing, and you take all the other factors out, that makes a bigger hole all by itself. It can't go in that small, or can't come out that small if it's already made bigger. The next thing you have is cavitation. So when you force an object at high velocity through a softer object, like a person or ballistics gel or a pumpkin.
I love that ballistics gel stuff.
It's so much fun to watch. It's so satisfying, especially because you can see after the fact what's happened to it. And if you watch them in the slow-mo, you actually see what I'm talking about as far as cavitation goes with the expansion.
Yes.
When the bullet goes in, you see it do this, big wavy number where it expands and contracts, and it kind of like Jello. The reason is because you have all this energy forcing into that cavity.
Spatial displacement.
Spatial displacement. That was a good science word. I like that. So, like I said, I don't know all the 100% physics behind why it does it, but as that bullet goes into the body or into whatever you're shooting at, it's like when you throw a stone into the water.
And the ripple effect.
It goes down. Well, there's a hole there now.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes,
there's a hole in the fluid that bullet's traveling through that doesn't want to be there.
Right.
Because you're not removing material. You're forcing it apart at a high rate of speed. It's going to come back together.
Yep.
If you force it apart at a high enough rate of speed, you're going to get tearing and destruction. Okay, so it's not just the hole that goes into you. Like an arrow, you get shot by an arrow, probably not a lot of cavitation going on there.
Well, because it's not leaving a hole. It's creating a hole and filling the hole with itself.
Exactly. So, and the velocity is not high enough to force it out at a high speed to create more damage. A bullet going through there so fast that it's not only cutting or pushing a hole into what it's going into, but it's forcing that stuff away from it faster than that tissue can handle. And then slaps back together.
Yes.
So the trauma from a bullet passing through something at high velocity is another thing that causes a larger hole on the other side, is the pure cavitation of forcing that material apart. And you can see that if you shoot a soda pop can. If you shot through a soda pop can, you found the bullet, you're going to find that hole in the back of the soda can is huge compared to even the bullet, because it's forcing everything around it to go through there too. And then the only other thing on your point list was, does a guy fly backwards?
No.
If you get hit with a pistol
You're
round,
saying no.
I'm saying there's probably a level to, if you get shot in a certain place or in the body and you take, like I said, it depends on what you're doing. How hard does it go? Like, does it hit anything? If you get hit in the fucking bones with a fucking, something that's torsional right away from the center of mass, that bullet weighs almost nothing. No matter how fast it's fucking going, it's either going to go straight through you, and if it affects your body, it's going to hurt like a motherfucker. But you weigh, on the order of a lot more than that fucking bullet does, no matter how fast it's going.
Okay.
If it's going fast enough, it's just going to go straight through you. Like another, you take a rifle round and you shoot it through paper. The paper won't move. It'll just go through the fucking paper. You can shoot a soda pop can. I've done it. An empty soda pop can at less because of the speed, right?
But
it goes through it so fast.
Whereas it goes slow,
it'll knock it over. That's why you knock cans over with a pellet gun or a BB gun. But if you shoot them with a rifle, a high velocity rifle, even 223, but definitely like a 30-06, was a rifle, like a deer rifle, very large round, very high velocity, and at 50 yards, which is super duper close for that kind of gun, it literally goes through an empty soda can or beer can so fast. I just think it's funny that you can't do it. I don't know why that is. So it's going so fast through that aluminum that it punches a hole in both sides and it doesn't even move. Doesn't tip over, doesn't do shit. And it's surprising. Because you're like, well, that's more powerful. It should knock it over. Well, there comes a point when it's so powerful that it just goes through it.
Yes.
So, and like I said, I've never seen anybody get shot, up close. So I don't know, but it's not like the movies. It doesn't throw you back. Even a shotgun. I mean, you're talking about the size of the ammunition in a shotgun. Even if it's a slug, it's 1 ounce. Mm-hmm. A slug in a shotgun is 1 ounce. There's usually 3/4 of an ounce or whatever of shot in a bird shot or buckshot round, right? So, I mean, what's an ounce? An ounce is almost nothing. Right. Still, and I think an ounce is equivalent to 4 or 5 quarters in reference. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're getting shot maybe at close range with a slug, and if it goes into your body, you're fucked. Like that's a big fucking hole. You want to talk about size of bullets? Power is not the same as size. Okay. Some of the longest range rifles are still only about a 30 caliber round. And as far as what like distance precision shooters would use, 50 caliber, it's still a 1/2 inch in diameter. That's how big the projectile is, a 1/2 inch in diameter. There are bigger handheld, projectile weapons if you want. There are bigger bullets. There's fucking 20 millimeter, which is fucking huge. I don't know what, I don't ever have a reference for what a 20 millimeter diameter is, right? But this is a fucking huge round. This is like anti-materiel firepower. Like you think a 50 cal looks big, it's about as big around as a roll of quarters. And it's about, as tall or a little bit taller than a soda pop can. Fucking big ass bullet.
Well, that won't
go. The whole shell, right?
Yes.
For 50 cal. It's fucking giant. 20 millimeter?
152 millimeter?
I mean, there are fucking like literal shoulder fire rifles that fire great big old fucking bullets. They had them back in World War II, World War I for anti-tank rifles.
Oh, these are cannons.
Yeah.
Oh wait, an Anzio 20 millimeter rifle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's this thing, the big long fucking sniper rifle.
Yeah. So next to it, that gun next to it, that's a 50 cal. Mm-hmm. The big gun in the foreground is a 20.
Okay.
So I think 10 millimeters is about an inch. Is that right? Roughly. Well, 10 millimeters is a centimeter. Centimeters, pretty close.
I don't have that information here. 100 inches. No, I don't know. There's some. I don't know what this. I don't know. Don't know.
That's okay.
Okay.
So, if we go with the assumption that 10 centimeters or 10 millimeters is a centimeter. Okay.
All right.
And a centimeter is not far off from an inch. It's a little bit off one way or the other, but it's close, right? For us imperialists. So
Standard.
20 millimeter is almost 2 inches. Now, I'm not 100% sure that is referring to the diameter of the bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not the circumference. Probably the diameter. That's fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
A 50 cal is a half an inch.
Yes.
20 fucking millimeters, dude? That's like getting shot with a fucking dildo. That is huge. That is a gigantic ass fucking bullet.
Yeah, let's watch this clip real quick.
Let's watch it. We'll comment just the Miles Dyson scene. So the movies overplay shit like where people get shot and they fly around. Like I would more believe somebody getting shot with a fucking slug at close range than I would ever believe the amount of reactionary damage it would do to get shot with anything up to and including a 44 Mathew, which people would consider a very strong weapon.
Here it comes.
Damn it!
The way that
She's out again. Okay, so she shoots him with a handgun.
First, just take that and go.
He
Just
hasn't been
run.
shot yet.
He didn't get shot with the 250. I was wrong about that. So that's probably likely a 357.
Oh.
Yes.
No,
Nobody fucking down now!
Oh, that's a 1911. I'm sorry.
Wait!
So that's a 45 auto.
I think it's an editing. Because they cut out the hit. But no, like, so right here.
Shut up!
So he's
all your
shot in the shoulder. So he's on the ground right now. He's scared fucking shit.
Yes, he is.
Okay? He's got some crazy bitch pointing a gun in his face. He's already been shot. His wife and kids are in the room. You can see this bitch is unhinged. She's crazy as fuck right now.
No, look, this thing is
cut
jumpy. It's cut to shit, man. You know, I heard Greg was telling me that he was watching like wrestling matches on here, and if blood comes on, it goes to black and white, and then it cuts away if someone's getting punched in the face. Like they clip it.
That's fucked up.
A lot like this looks.
That's fucked up.
It's
edited. It's because of demonetization, though. They don't want people change their own videos so they don't get quote unquote demonetized.
Huh.
Did you just call me a dipshit?
You call moi a dipshit? I was looking at the comments on here.
Grab this dipshit.
So did the Dysons go to the water park?
What? No, they made a vacuum cleaner instead of a Terminator.
Did he tell his son they were going to go to the water park? Did he say that in that
I don't remember that.
Because why else would they say, did the Dysons go to the water park?
No, it's bedtime for Danny. He's playing with a goddamn RC car.
But did he say, like, tomorrow?
I don't remember him ever saying that.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
Do you want to know how I got these scars? Batman. Sorry, we're closed. Alright. Anyways. We're an hour in on the bullet talk here.
I know. Well, it's a deep subject.
I didn't even get to talk about, like, your dad. Did you read those last 2 episodes I sent you yet?
I haven't read them yet.
Man, you're missing out. I can't talk to you about them.
I know.
Until you read them.
We can't talk about them on here anyway.
I wouldn't, but like I could still talk to you about it. I mean, they're like 5 pages long.
I know.
It's not like a 120-page script.
I know. It's a lot easier to read the shorties.
I mean, you're gonna love it.
I like it already. I think it's fun. Because it's kind of like a branch of the other one.
You don't even know yet.
It feels
even
like a
more
branch.
so. Even
it
more
feels
so.
Like a branch.
No, you're gonna love it.
Okay.
You're gonna love it.
Just
you gotta
episode
read it.
1. I'll read it tonight.
You're gonna love it.
Okay.
Anyways.
You're gonna love the way you look. I guarantee it. So what about the old man? We covered bullet stuff. Most of what you see in the movie is bullshit. It's not real life.
And your dad.
But it's fun to watch.
Your dad being sick. When was the last time you talked to him?
It's been over a week.
Because I'm like, hey, we're done with episode 1. When can we do episode 2?
Is he in episode 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, it's just Greg in the first half, and then Greg and your dad in the second half. And I was like, we can just shoot it at your house.
Piece of cake.
But he was like, no, we're quarantining, and I got dogs. So he got a bunch of dogs.
He does have a bunch of dogs. He literally has more dogs than a person should have.
So
in fact, I have 2 dogs, and I'm pretty sure that's more than a person should have. Because
probably
they're a pain in the dick.
I guess.
They're assholes. Cookie is the right number of dogs.
Oh, you need to read the script.
I'll read the script.
Oh, man.
I'll read the script.
It sucks because I'm waiting for you. I'm more excited about you reading them.
Than making them?
No. But like than anyone else reading them.
Okay. Well, I'll read it and I'll text you feedback.
So then also you watched the new footage or the old footage of the making of.
I did watch a little bit of that.
Non-making of Night Moves.
The non-making of a non-made movie.
Yes.
And it was funny because that was, I mean, how many years ago was that?
4.
That's scary, dude.
It's weird because I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, there's Josh and there's Luis.
Yeah.
I'm like, these people are here.
So I'm watching it just on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's like, I mean, maybe because I'm self-conscious, but it feels like it was your sister, right?
Yeah, Sister Shania.
Shania was filming, and I don't even remember her being there. First of all, I don't remember you saying that that's what she was doing. Which is fine.
She's like a fly on the wall.
She was a fly on the wall, dude. Because I was not acting like she was there. I wasn't talking to her.
No.
I wasn't playing to the camera like I think I probably would have at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, just babyface youngsters, and we were still 25, 26. No,
20.
30. Don't say it.
We're 30.
Okay, so still, even 30, at 30, I look at
almost
myself.
31. You were probably 31. When's your birthday?
March.
You must have just had a birthday.
Yeah, this was in
This was in March. Because I went to Japan.
That's right.
And I either went to Japan at the end of March into the beginning of April, or at the end of April and the beginning of May.
You did. So this would have been.
It would have been February, March.
February into March. Okay. Because I remember, this is when I quit my job. I quit my job to work on this. No, I called in sick to work on this day. I remember.
Which job? Not Home Depot.
Yeah. No, I was working at Home Depot at that time.
No, because Home Depot came later.
I was still working there.
Were you still working there?
I was still working there. So I called in to do this shoot because
I
was excited about it. And then, but I don't know, just listening to myself talk, I do it here. I speak mostly with authority.
I guess.
And as a subject matter expert on the things that I know about.
Because there's one part where you're talking about, because I have the guns.
Right.
The guns are brand new. I just bought those guns.
I think that was the first time I saw them, isn't it?
Oh, might have been.
I think that's why I was looking at them and really checking them over. Because we didn't even use them in that scene.
No.
On that day.
No.
We didn't have any reason to use them at all. We used one gun on that day, and it was mine.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was my 1911 that I kind of dressed up. And I was telling you about that, and then you were showing me the other ones, and then we were talking about them. We were talking about the ones you ended up with.
It's very weird watching that.
It is.
Because I forget that, was she filming when, it doesn't look like she was filming when we were filming.
I don't think so.
Because, I didn't watch all of it. It's an hour and a half. But
it doesn't ever look like we're filming.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And like, I don't know. Did she get any of it where fucking Josh is like revving the engine and fucking booking it down?
Oh my god, I don't know. I haven't got that far. I'm like not even a half an hour in.
Like, I mean, because I at one point I see John on top of the truck with the tripod and the camera filming. But I mean, it's such a slice of a moment in time that it's so random and strange. No, not at all.
It's so removed from what you.
Because it's got like Shane is in there.
Yeah, Shane was getting.
Travis is in there.
Yep.
And John is in there.
When I saw that, I got excited. And then it said behind the scene, like I had to read the title like several times.
You thought it was.
I thought I was gonna get some of the footage.
Well, we actually shot.
Like the actual footage.
For all I know, that's long gone.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, probably sitting on somebody's hard drive and we'll never see it.
But like that footage goes from in the house to outside the house, driving to
the cul-de-sac,
and at the cul-de-sac, and seeing us do our thing.
Which is cool because you don't usually get to see that.
Not on my movies. So I never have anybody.
Have enough people to do it.
Yeah, like, and it was one thing I was thinking about when we just went and filmed like last Saturday with Greg. Is like, okay, I have Greg and I've got Greg running the camera and I'm holding the script. The next thing I know, we're done with that stuff and now Greg's in the scene. Oh, I'm running the camera and I can't hold the script anymore. It's like, fuck! I need more people.
Well, I mean, when were you shooting it?
Oh, would you have been available to do it?
I don't know. When did you shoot it?
Like,
you didn't ask me.
Like this time last week. Yeah, but I mean, this last Saturday.
Yeah, you should.
Like right now.
If you hit me up, you'd be like, "Hey, dude, we're gonna go shoot."
Yeah, but you got two little ones, and you got like a back.
Look, I get yard time. Okay, this is my yard time. I get out of the house. I don't have to play dad right now, and I get to bullshit with my friend and talk about stuff that I like. If I want to trade that for shooting a short,
well, look,
spend a couple of hours.
Get on your dad's ass, and then you could be there for that one.
Well, let's talk about it after we're done. We'll talk about what you need and how much time you think it's gonna take, and I'll fucking write it.
I mean, you might be able to get through to him more than me. Maybe not, because he might say like, "Hey, I'm sick. I can't." You know.
So if he's actually sick, then we're not gonna get him.
Right.
But when he's not sick anymore,
well, it just sucks because it's like we're blowing through time, and this is something I'll talk to you about also off of the air.
You like to talk about blowing?
No, but we're blowing through time where I'm sitting and I'm not doing anything. And here, grab that thing right there underneath the thing. No, that's my dick. No, I'm just kidding.
It ain't that long, and my back ain't that good.
It's right there. It's down, right there. That and that should be all this. You're so.
What do you want me to do?
Crotchety and decrepit. You're like an old man.
I can't even see under there.
Mister, we were fucking 27 shooting night moves.
Shut your holy up. Ooh, somebody spent a buck.
Yes,
that's pretty.
That's my...
I don't know what's in there, but it looks pretty.
Well, it says it right there, doesn't it?
I know, but I don't know what a Zcam E2S6EF
well, that's the one Greg said we should get, or I should get
it. Is it heavy?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's expensive. Put it down.
It's heavy. Is that from something?
Jurassic Park.
Is it?
Kids, look, I found night vision goggles.
Oh.
Are they heavy? Yeah. They're expensive. Put them down. So, yeah. And like I said, man, I get yard time, right? Like every week. So
well, like I said, I'm ready to start filming, and
then let's talk about it.
And your dad is fucking me in the ass.
That's the way you like it.
They fuck you in the drive-through.
Fuck, what is that from?
Lethal Weapon. It's Joe Pesci.
God, I love Joe Pesci.
All right, well then, let's finish this up. We've been an hour through. Let's do a question, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
Me and Greg did a bunch last time.
I didn't even get to talk about the things that I wanted to talk
about. Oh, what do you want to talk about?
I'm kidding.
No, I mean, while we're here.
No, we'll do it next time. We'll do it next time.
We got way too deep into the fucking bullet talk. And
that's the thing. It's a big subject, and there's always a lot of questions around it.
Well, and I was thrown off because like I thought Rose was already going to be gone to work.
It's okay.
And then like Leah's like, oh, I'm bringing friends over. And I was like, well, Cory's on the way, so she didn't end up doing that.
Off
all right. So, like, I wasn't really prepared to, like...
It's all right.
The thing I want to talk to you about, we're going to talk about after.
Sure.
All right. That's real fucking cryptic and mysterious. Not that anybody listens to these.
You know what? Fuck them for not listening.
You can either die saving a bunch of kids from an orphanage fire and be remembered as a hero.
Okay.
Or live to an... Is there a word missing here? Or live to old age. Live to old age.
Okay.
And be remembered as the passerby who did nothing to help them.
So...
See that guy? That old fuck right there? He watched them burn. He did nothing.
But if you save them, you die in the fire.
Yeah, but you saved them. See that guy right there? He saved all those kids.
Yeah, see that headstone right there?
I mean, someone just cleaned that bird shit off of his fucking thing. But I mean, he saved them.
So I think that question, like for me, it's a no-brainer.
Live to an old age.
I save the kids.
Oh, man.
And it depends on the kind of person you are, right?
Right.
Like...
And hope for the best.
Exactly.
Like, the thing is you don't
know you're going to die.
Right, you're just going to do the
You're
thing.
like, holy shit, the orphanage is on fire and there's kids in there.
Yeah, do what you can.
And, they tell you not
throw
to do
them down,
shit
throw
like
them
that.
down.
Exactly.
Right.
You're trying to do the thing that you think is right, and like, if there's no first responders there yet, and there's literally kids in a fucking burning building.
Right. If you've done everything that you could, you called the cops, they're on the way, and now what? You wait? No. You go and see if you can do something.
And maybe you die in there. Maybe the firemen are dragging your fucking dead ass out of there. Or
look at this idiot.
Trying to resuscitate you or whatever. And, even being a hero, like...
Well,
it's in movies all the time. Don't be a fucking hero.
Well, it's that moment, and we're talking about James Bond here again, in Goldfinger, where the bomb is ticking down, and he's looking at all the wires, and he goes to start to pull the wire apart, just rip the wires apart, but the guy gets there in time and moves his hands away and just flips the switch and turns it off.
So, I mean, what do you do?
Me? I would try and help.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a hard question, though. It's loaded. It's a loaded question.
It's super loaded.
Right. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to die? No, I'm not going to save him. But, like...
But you don't know that you're going to die.
You don't know that you're going to die. But that's not the question.
No.
It's not.
If you were given a choice and you knew you were going to die...
I would rather die the hero than be the guy that didn't do anything.
Here's the thing about the guy that doesn't do anything. You're not remembered.
No. But I don't need to be remembered.
Because they're not going to go, well, you didn't do anything. What the fuck? You're not the only person standing there.
Right.
Because maybe they're...
Yeah, but this is saying you're being remembered.
Okay, so...
But I don't need to be remembered, and I would help. Right. Yeah. The technicality of the question is like...
If you're going to be remembered for...
I mean, you're kind of being a dick both ways. It's like, yeah, I want to be remembered, or... No, I don't want to help them.
Yeah.
It's a terrible question.
It's a terrible question.
Or it's a question for terrible people. But yeah, I guess I would rather save the kids to pull something from this question. Saving the kids.
I'm on the same page because I'm 35 years old. It's like,
what can I do?
If I don't save those kids are much younger than I am. They have a lot more life left to live.
Even if you save one.
If you save one of them, and you die or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Take that part of the question out. You die or you don't. You're going to do the best you can to help that person who has a lot more life left to live than you do.
But we're kind of taking the piss out of what they're asking.
Sure, and that's because we think about shit and we're not assholes.
Right. All right. You're in severe debt. Sounds like me.
Sounds like real life.
While at a baseball game, you catch a historic record-breaking home run in the stands.
Sell it.
The ball is worth millions at auction, but it was almost caught by a little kid with cancer sitting next to you. You're on the Jumbotron. Do you keep the ball, pay off your loans, and have everyone think you're a Grinch, or do you give it up and be a hero?
Now, that's a good question.
Either way, this moment will be replayed on ESPN pretty much until the end of time.
Yeah, you could become one of the multi-generational fucking mean gift tracks, whatever you want to call them.
Yes.
With the fucking guy that catches the ball and doesn't give it to the little kid. Oh, millions?
There are Wikipedia pages
if it says the ball,
about people who do stupid, fucked up shit.
If the ball's literally worth millions.
Like, let's say, homeboy, it's his last game. He's retiring.
Right.
He's about ready to break the record.
Record-breaking
last play.
Last career home run.
It's, you know,
wins the World Series at the same time.
Yes.
Like, all the things stacked up, and that ball was literally going to be worth multiple millions of dollars.
Your arm reaches over in front of the kid's hand, and you catch it.
So, win, lose, or draw, fuck that little kid, I'm keeping the ball.
Whew.
You know why?
Because
it's worth millions of dollars.
Life's a bitch.
Sucks
to be you. You're dying.
You can buy.
You don't need this.
It's like having to sign a contract. Like, look, kid, I'll give it to you right now, but you sign a contract that says as soon as you die,
okay,
I get it
back. You can keep this until.
So if I'm at the game by myself, I catch a ball.
Oh no, dude, check that. No.
I catch a ball in front of a little kid, I keep it.
No, check this out.
Especially if it's that ball.
You bring an extra ball with you.
I've seen that move.
Have you really?
I love that move.
Really? That's a thing?
I watched a kid on the Jumbotron do it, and it was slick as fuck, right? The kid, he's standing up against the rail, right? He's got his mitt in one hand, he's got a ball in another hand, and you can see he's got the ball in his mitt.
Uh-huh.
The home run ball or foul ball, whatever it is, it's coming at him. He takes the ball out of his mitt, catches it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, textbook catch. Fucking great move on the kid. This kid's maybe 11 years old, 12 years old. Catches the ball, kind of pats his mitt a little bit, like, catches it. He has the other ball in his hand.
Yeah.
There's a chick, like a hot chick,
sitting
behind him, and he goes like this with the other ball.
Wow, that's a thing.
It was so fucking slick, dude. And the kid didn't even blink. He's like, here you go. And she goes, oh my God. And they played it up on the Jumbotron that they gave it to him. But the commentary after the fact, you can find the video online. They're like, this kid was slick as fuck. He caught the foul ball and gave the other ball to the chick behind him.
That's fucking amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Second point, last point before we wrap. I probably wouldn't be at a baseball game by myself. I'd probably have my kids. If I catch a foul ball that's worth millions of dollars, or a home run ball or whatever it is, in front of another little kid that has fucking chemo or whatever, I got an easy out because I just give it to my kid.
Sure.
And
too easy of an out.
Too easy of an out. So for me, too easy.
Pathetic.
Presuming that I don't have my kids at that game and I'm just sitting next to the fucking Make-A-Wish Foundation kid.
Next thing you know, you're driving home.
Yeah, and then you get taken out.
The orphanage is on fire. That same kid is in there.
He's in there. I go in to save him. I bring him out, die in the fire.
And he's like,
the foul ball. No, the foul ball is in my car. Nobody knows about it because you can't see my face or my car. So only I know the ball's in my car. Then the car gets towed off after I die. Back to the bank because my family's not going to keep my car after I die in the fucking fire trying to save orphans.
Your wife doesn't know anything about baseball.
And then 20 years down the road, my kid's playing with this baseball.
Oh, okay.
Right? That potentially worth millions of dollars. His family's broke. Cosmic irony.
But there is no proof, though.
Absolutely.
At that point,
there would be no proof.
20 years later? Yeah, fuck no.
There's no proof after you take that ball away from
Mark McGuire. Oh, yeah.
And then, fucking tangential. There have been balls like that, like baseballs that are hit as home runs. Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa and
Barry Bonds
when they're having that fucking runoff.
Yeah.
Back in the
late 90s.
Late 90s? Like 99?
Early aughts.
Yeah, something like that.
Like McFarland.
There were a couple.
Todd McFarland, forked over a couple million for Mark McGuire's record-breaking ball.
Right.
But then he fucking,
gave it back to him.
No. He broke it again.
Oh, he broke the...
broke the record again.
Well, they were breaking the records every week.
Yeah, every week that was the...
And then who ended up on top? Was it Mark McGuire that ended up winning?
I want to say it was him. But then the juicing thing came out.
And then they're like, oh, these guys were on steroids. It doesn't count. It's like, it does. They hit the fucking ball over the fence more than anybody else.
Sure.
And if you didn't bust them on the steroids while you were still letting them play, that's your fucking fault. You know? I think that's not fair. That's a whole fucking conversation. Like, you're going to let fucking people play games when they're juiced? Yeah. Don't fucking take something away that they won while they were juiced. It's like, fucking bust them so they can't play and then say, okay, everything that happened before that, we're right off. Mm-hmm. But now, taking gold medals away. Fuck you.
Like Olympic gold medals?
Yeah, fucking juice test them before they're on the fucking, before they play. Or just test them right when they come off the field.
Don't they anyway? Yeah, after the fact.
Before you hand the medals out, when the high time, if you get low time or whatever the fucking goal is, test everybody. Everybody comes back clean. Okay, here's your podium. Give it fucking 20 minutes.
This is a good podcast. I'm glad you came over.
I like it.
All right, I'm Matt Bonta.
I'm Cory Easley. How many we got left to 200?
Oh, yeah, we're at 196.
196.
Episode 196.
I think we can nail it by New Year's? By Christmas? Do 200 on New Year's?
4 episodes. 1, 2.
4 episodes in 2.5 weeks?
I could do another one with Greg. He's coming over Monday.
Okay. And then I can do another one.
Next Saturday.
I'm technically self-quarantining next week.
Oh, that's right.
Because I have surgery on the 21st. But we can do some the week of the 21st.
And I'm trying to get Dakota in for another one, too.
Or leading up to...
So 96, 97.
First of the year.
98, 99, or 99, somewhere around here I could do with somebody.
I don't know. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
No, we'll make it happen.
But it'd be cool to land 200 on the
I am off here to here. Back to work here.
Yeah, me too. So maybe we can get...
So we can do a New Year. We can do 200 on New Year's.
Okay. Let's shoot for it. All right.
And maybe we can get somebody like Greg in on it.
We'd fun to get a couple different people in.
I tried to.
More hands.
I tried to, but I was getting ghosted. All right.
I'm Matt Bonta.
No,
Cory Easley.
Peace.